What's up, everybody? Life's Apprentice. We are going to be doing this roof here today, and people ask me if I use these for my own business, and the answer is usually no. But today we are. My trailer's being used elsewhere, so I had a dumpster set. I'm going to be doing this roof, 22 square, pretty simple. A couple little dormers and porches and stuff like that we got to do, but other than that, pretty straightforward. Little porch roof here. Little side roof here. And you got some valleys and just typical normal stuff up there. So we're gonna be doing this one duration summer harvest, which is a interesting color if you've ever used it. It doesn't work on very many houses, but I think this one's a good candidate, so I'm gonna put it on here. That's what the homeowner wanted, so that's what we're gonna do. 2 layers, cedar. Gonna be a complete resheet, and gonna take us a couple of days for sure. The boys are up there playing hammer slogging. This dumpster's gonna be full right quick too, real quick. But I gotta run, and I'll let them sheet it and get it shingled up there yet today. And I don't know, this might be, I don't know if we're gonna be able to finish it tomorrow or not. So it might be a next week thing. This might be a 2 or 3 day video. We are up on a freaking extremely hot roof right now. I showed you last week we were working on, this is a redeck cedar shake, 3 or 4 layer tear off and resheet, and then we got some duration summer harvest on here, and this entire house is brick. So when you have a brick house like this, there's really only one way you can do wall flashings, and they need to be cut in. It's called a Reglet Counterflashing. You can see we have our step flashing here. We tarred the top just temporarily until we got the flashings on here. And then what we've done is we've bent some pieces, I'll show you in a little bit. We put them on here and we've marked a line all the way across. And then there's lots of ways to do this. I do it with a 4-inch grinder, and this is a diamond blade. And then we're going to want to cut into this brick about 1 inch. For some reason there was not any flashing on here whatsoever, which I don't understand, because usually in the old days when you had cedar shakes, they did a lot of these flashings and cut them in. So I don't know why there isn't any on here, but there wasn't. And even if there was, they're probably so old I don't know that we could have reused them. So we're going to get to cutting here. Am I covered in it?
No, not that bad.
Yeah. Oh my god, if I still have my mullet on a day like today, I'd die. Literally. So, that's one side. You gotta be careful how you cut this. But with a 4-inch grinder, and of course I took the guard off, don't do that. But that way I can maneuver it better with the guard off. But these things will cut you. They won't cut you as much as they'll just burn right through your skin. But you can see we have that cut on this side all the way about 1 inch deep. And then here's our flashing. And I put a little kick at the bottom just to stiffen it here. And then at the top we have like a hem, a backwards hem. And if you can imagine, we have like a backwards hem here. So this is going to go into the wall. And this is going to prevent it, once it goes in, it's going to prevent it from coming back out. It's also going to prevent water from going back into the brick and messing with the brick. So this is what we're going to do here. We have several other wall flashings to do on this house, and they're all going to be just a little bit different. They're all going to get cut in basically the same, but they're all going to be a little bit different. So we'll show you some of the other ones. But we're going to get to putting this one in, I'll show you. Oh, there it is. We got color match caulk on there. All that. This is the proper way to do it. The proper way to do it. Not to mention this house is on the historical registry, So permitting wise and stuff like that, they're super stringent. It's almost like a HOA where they kind of pick the colors and tell you what you can and can't do. It's not like a normal roof where you can just pick and do whatever. But it is really hot. It's into the 90s and really humid. So I didn't show a whole lot on this side. The next spot we're going to be doing is in the shade, so I'll film a little more over there, but I am dying. So this is very dusty, and it's a sucky job. I'll tell you what, roofing sucks as it is, and it's really, really hot right now. But we're in the shade, and I got it all cut, and then I planned cutting in the mortar joints is a lot easier. So if I can, I try to cut it into the mortar joint. So I made this piece specifically so that it would go into the mortar joint. We got that. And the side. Now for water flow, we're going to do this one first. We're going to have a tab in the corner, and then this one's going to dive into this side one here. So here we have, this is just a little porch roof, and these are really pretty much unnecessary the way that we're doing it. But here's your wall going down, and here's your top wall here, and we have to install flashing here. Most people don't do this that I see, or they reuse it. But this is, I guess it's not totally necessary, but it's the right way to do it, because if it leaks behind here, it's not going to get into the house, or nobody's even going to really notice it. But this is the true proper way to do it. So here we have a piece that I bent. You can see, well, this needs to get bent a little bit more, but that's essentially how this is going to go. And then there's another piece on the side over there that we'll have to install. But this bend, I underbent it. It needs to get bent just a little bit more. And that's essentially how this is going to go. So there's that side. I have a tab up here, and it's not going to line up perfect, but I have a tab up there. I'll have to do a little trimming, but one thing you're going to have to do is down here, you got to put these little end caps. You're going to have to, not always, but I always do usually. That way you don't have to put a big old goob of tar in there, or not tar, but caulk. But this will all get caulked still. So now we're going to work on that piece. There's your wall, your rake wall, and here's your top wall. I bent a little tab right there around the corner. Then this is all got to get caulked, and then we got to blow the roof off. But and this is I don't know how many people really do this. I see a lot of roof jobs that they do not do this kind of stuff. We always do it on our chimneys, on brick chimneys. Sometimes we will reuse old flashings, like cut-in flashings, and then we'll just redo the step flashing and the top and bottom flashings, the flashings that don't show. But most of the time, the chimneys are just not done properly, and this is the right way to do it. These need to get cut in, just like this. Something different. We don't do very many brick houses and walls and stuff like this, where we have to cut in this amount, and we aren't even done. We still have another porch roof over here and the chimney yet to do. We don't do a whole lot of houses that are like this, but they're out there, and as a roofer, you got to know how to do this kind of stuff. And it's pretty simple. It's dirty and messy. I don't know what my face looks like, but I'm sure it's not good. And when it's hot, it's even worse. But yeah, it's got to be done. There it is in all of its glory, caulked. You can see this is all caulked. And I did put some roofing nails in here and caulk those. But that's essentially it. I'm going to move on to the next spot. So this is one of those tricky spots. I got two sides here, and I got to get this flashing on, and I got this windowsill here, and I got this ridge diving in the valleys coming up. So what I did is I have my full piece here, and I just took a snip and I cut this. You can see like that. And for water flow, so I have a tab, I'm just going to fold this up like this. I'm going to do this on both sides, and then this portion will get nailed down right here, and I'll show you once I get it cut in and installed what it's going to look like. But it's kind of a tricky spot. This is all custom. Everything's a little bit different. This is the best way I could come up with doing it, so this is the way I'm going to do it. Oh, there it is. You can see my caulking here is terrible, but it's so hard. You guys can't tell, but that's only like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And with the roof and everything, I cannot get my caulk gun in there on the right angle. And just kind of one of those spots where I don't know if there's any really good way to make it look perfect. This is the way I chose to do it. But it turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. This roof is also really crooked from the wall, so it dives down in the middle here, and just over time it's gotten pretty crooked. So yeah, one more spot, and it is freaking hot. I'm in the shade, my next spot's in the sun, and it is freaking hot. It's like in the mid 90s and 78% humidity. It's hot. Well, here she is. The whole roof, at least the majority of it. We still got to do a little cleanup, and but it is freaking hot. I know I've been saying this a lot, but it's hot. It's hot, and it sucks. Well, we got that all wrapped up, finished up, and got everything ready and set up for another job tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing house and garage, soffit and fascia, and then we'll be doing gutters behind it. But stay tuned for that video. I hope you like this video. I just got home and had to take a shower because I was just disgusting after cutting all that brick, and it's like 94 degrees right now and 80% humidity. So it was hot, and all that stuff, I was all sweaty. All that dust is just sticking to me, to my beard and my hair and my ears and up my nose, and fun stuff. But if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you on the next one.